Did I see Whitney? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Have you guys ever seen the movie Forever Strong or Invictus? Anybody? A few people? Okay. How many of you actually knew what was going on in those rugby scenes? Nobody. Okay. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit about how to play rugby. I've played the sport for about 11 years, and it's the most amazing thing in the world, and it's growing very fast in the U.S., so maybe knowing a little bit about the sport will help you guys to understand it when you watch movies like that, or even maybe take a chance and go play some yourself. So the first thing I want to start talking about are the positions in rugby. There are 15 positions, and they're divided into two groups. You have your forwards, and you have your backs. Your forwards are usually your stronger, your bigger, your harder hitters, and they're usually your bigger people. And their job is to hit and tackle and push people down. And then you have your backline players, who are your smaller, faster tricksters that usually score a lot of the tries. I have some diagrams to show you guys. First, we have the forwards. I don't know if can you guys see this?
Yeah.
At all? Okay. So the other team will be right here, okay? You have your hooker, who's the person that's in the middle, and their job, from the name hooker, is to hook the ball with their foot and kind of pass it back through these people. That's their sole job. These two guys, they're called props. Their job is to prop up this hooker. So basically the hooker is really on top of them so that their feet are barely touching the ground, and all they do is hook the ball. Next you have your locks, whose main job is just to help push in a scrum. And you have your two flankers, who they're also just to help push in that scrum, but they're linked in more loosely so that they're able to kind of detach from the scrum and attack once the ball comes out. And then your 8-man is your last pusher. They're usually a pretty strong person. They help push, and they're also able to get away and break off pretty easily. And then over here you have your scrum half, which is what I play. And my job is to put the ball in this scrum and to get the ball out safely and cleanly. When I say scrum, this is kind of what I'm talking about, another demonstration. This is one team, this is the other team. Where they connect, they're hitting each other, basically, and the stronger team usually wins. I roll the ball down here in the middle, and the hooker, they go after it, and whoever can hook it and push the fastest wins the ball. The back line, I have a diagram set up like this. This is what they would be set up like on offense. So imagine it would kind of be set up like this in the field. You'd have your scrum over here, and your back line would be coming out on one side, the strong side, the side with more of the field. And the first person that gets the ball is called the fly half, number 10. They're kind of they pass the ball. Their job is to get the ball out, they make the plays, they're pretty bossy. Your inside center is a very strong runner. We do a lot of crash balls with this person, meaning they take the ball and just hit people. No, you don't usually pass, you just take it into contact. They try to gain a lot of yards that way. Your outside center is similar to 12. They're also a very fast player. And we have your wings, 14 and 11. These two are basically the fastest people on the field. A lot of times they're probably the smallest person on the field too, pretty skinny, pretty fast. And you get the ball to them, and they just run down the sideline and score. And then down here we have your fullback, which is on defense. It's your last line of defense. They have to be a really good tackler, because if the offense breaks through all of these guys, the only person stopping them from scoring that try is this person right here. So they have to be able to make really good open field tackles. They're usually good at kicking too, because if the other team were to kick the ball, 15 would be hanging out there in the back, and they'd be the ones that would catch it and maybe kick it back in return. So those are our positions. This is how the back line lines up on offense, but on defense they'd be in a flat line about 5 meters behind this 8-man's foot, and then they come up together in a flat line. Okay, those are our positions. Next up, I'm going to go over some of the basic skills that a rugby player needs to have. You need to be able to pass, ruck, and tackle. So a rugby pass, this is a rugby ball. It's like a pregnant football. And how we pass, would you stand up please? Is you have your 2 hands on the ball, you it spirals a little bit. You don't have to. Okay, so that's a rugby pass, and the difference between rugby and football and the passing is that you can't pass forwards in rugby. You can only pass backwards or lateral, and lateral is really tricky because if the ref thinks that it's at all forward, then he'll call it, and that'll be a penalty, and we don't want that. So that's a pass. The next thing is tackle. Obviously, if you can't make your tackles, people are going to run past you, and we don't want that. So making a good tackle is very important. Can you stand up, please? I'm just going to demonstrate the basic tackle form. I'm not going to lay anyone out, but what my coach has always taught me is that you want to go cheek to cheek. So when you come in for a tackle, you want to hit with your shoulders, and you want your face cheek to be on their butt cheek, and then you can grab, and then take them down. Thank you. And that is how you do a proper tackle. It's very important to be able to do that. Next thing are rucks. Now this is kind of hard to explain, but a ruck is something that in rugby, the play never stops. If the ball hits the ground, you keep going. It doesn't end. So say my teammate goes down with the ball. My job as a supporting player is to form a ruck over this ball. So I would come and I would step over her and kind of protect the ball and have like a strong stance. And the opposing team would also have someone that would come in for that ruck. And we'd hit each other kind of like a mini scrum. And the stronger person usually wins. My goal is to keep that ball safe. So I either want to be stronger and push past, hold my spot, or if I lose, they'll push past me and then they'll win the ball back. So you want to be able to make good passes, make all your tackles, and secure your rucks. Some of the stranger aspects of a rugby game that a lot of people really don't understand are, we have lineouts, lots of penalties, mauls, and a lot of offsides rules. So first thing is a line out, which is what happens when the ball goes out of bounds in a rugby match. So if the ball goes out of bounds, you have your hooker who's going to stand wherever the ball went out, and they're going to throw the ball straight down this channel. Now on either side of that channel, you're going to have the two opposing teams. And as soon as that ball releases that hooker's hands, the two teams jump up for it and try to fight for possession. So whoever wins that gets the ball, and you continue playing. A maul is when, say I have the ball and I go into a tackle, but I don't get taken to the ground. So there's you're stuck kind of. Your teammates and the other team will come together and start pushing on you. And it's a maul, that's what it is. It's a bunch of people and you're pushing against each other, and that helps you either gain a little bit of yards or be able to get the ball out and continue play, or if it doesn't make any motion, then the ref will call it and it'll be a penalty because you're not moving. Hands of the ruck. If there's a ruck formed, like I spoke before, you can't just, have someone come around here and dig in it with your hands. You have to come through what's called the channel, which is the gate that the person makes with their body when they're laying on the ground. So you want to make sure that you come in through there, and then you can grab the ball if you're not attached to a ruck. There are a lot of other nitpicky penalty rules. A penalty in and of itself is if you do something wrong, the ref will tell you back 10. So whoever did the wrong thing has to back up 10 meters, and the other team gets those 10 meters to run up onto you, which is not cool. So those are some of the basics about rugby, your positions, your basic skills, and some of the penalties. I hope that after hearing about this, you guys know a little bit more about it and can maybe watch those movies and understand what's going on. Thank you for your time, and go rugby.